PLD, Matty Gunner, Richard-Erik Jarvi and Bidoor. Welcome to Scoundrels, Movies, News, and more.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Scoundrels.
The most laid-back movie show on the far reaches of the interwebs.
That's not really true anymore. Because
Oh
you're
my
backstage with
God.
Jarvi. The guy's a fucking taskmaster.
Woo!
Every time he goes on, 10 seconds.
What are you talking
5
about?
seconds.
Look how relaxed
That's why.
I am.
4
I don't care about
seconds.
Wait,
time.
if you look in the comments, I put you better hit that intro right, Jarvi, in the comments.
And look what I
'cause
put in
knew
the private
Jarvi would
chat.
see.
Look what I put in the private chat.
Do you forget that? Don't forget our
So
intro.
we did the same thing.
It's ridiculous. We are ridiculous. You're all ridiculous, but that's okay.
The most ridiculous movie show on the interwebs.
There you go. That's actually more likely to be true.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yep,
I am your host. I am PLD, and I'm here with my fellow scoundrels. We got the Matty DeLorean right over there. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. And down below we have Bitch Jarvi, Anal
Dude,
Jarvi.
I thought you changed
Jarvi.
it. I thought you changed it back.
I would never do that to you. I would never
Look what
change your
they're-
name back.
I'm being bullied. This is
Being
internet
bullied.
bullying. They're calling me names.
Do you feel bad?
I do. I have no
If
idea
it-
what
if
you're
it ain't-
talking about.
If it ain't broke, don't change it.
That's
That's
true.
true.
You did make that up yourself, by the way. And
Yeah, I
yes.
did.
Welcome, PJ. Welcome, PJ. to
Hi,
the chat.
BJ.
I just left you 2 minutes ago. And of course, we have our final scoundrel, our fourth scoundrel here every time. And it's
Welcome,
well.
Bidoor.
welcome, Bidoor. Bidoor.
Bidoor.
Oh, sorry, we ran out of time for Bidoor, I guess, this week. So let's move on to our first news topic. Matty Gunner, throw us our news.
Oh, yeah, we got news.
We got news.
We do got news. So our first topic, Dakota Johnson has been cast to play Madam Web in the Sony Spider-Verse Madam Web movie. It's probably going to come out, I don't know, 2023, 2024. They haven't said when it's going to be coming out. But yeah, Dakota Johnson, Madam Web. What do we think?
I will say that I don't really know much about Madam Web. I've definitely read comic books with her, of course, but she was never a character I followed greatly. I do love Dakota Fanning. I think she was great in The Lost Daughter.
Johnson.
Lost Daughter.
Johnson.
Did I Fanning? I got Fanning.
You
didn't I?
did say Fanning.
Oh, God. Thank you for fact-checking me. Dakota Johnson, she was great in The Lost Daughter with Ed Harris. I was concentrating on Ed Harris. The Ed Harris part of that, so I kind of skipped right over it.
3 minutes and 17 seconds.
That's your time. Check it out, guys. No, I do love Dakota Johnson, and she's great. I loved her in Peter Falcon as well.
316.
So we have to see what this is. I kind of still, I'm not unclear what Sony is doing with their Spider-Man universe at this point. I want to see a little more cohesive vision of what we're doing. We have the Venom side. We have, I know, Matty, you don't have to roll your eyes, the Morbius side. We have Madam Web. And it seems like a lot's going on. And we got Andrew Garfield over there. We get Tom Holland over there. It seems like we're looking like we're going to get Andrew Garfield, which is cool. But
Do you think so?
It's hard for me to be.
Yeah.
I think we are. I think at this point we're going to get Andrew Garfield.
Madam Web's
That's
the
my thought.
perfect way for them to do it as well, because from what I remember of the Spider-Man animated series back in the 90s, Madam Web, she had the ability to transfer between dimensions.
Okay.
She could take Peter to different times. She could take him to different planets, different dimensions. So that could be the way that they get an Andrew Garfield to come back, to get a Tobey Maguire to maybe come back and do one more.
Interesting. I mean, I think Andrew Garfield's already going to be. I think we're going to discover that this is all in Andrew Garfield's universe anyway. So I don't think Andrew Garfield will even need to be pulled over from anywhere. That's just my own thought process behind it, because the way they're working, because they could honestly just say that. They don't have to say anything about like where they were as far as what universe they were in. They disappear and Spider-Man appears in their universe as Andrew Garfield. They could say, "Oh, this whole thing took place in that Andrew Garfield universe," so to speak.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Go ahead, Jerry.
I think Andrew Garfield might be too big or doing too well to do more Spider-Man.
He wants to do more.
Do you think he'll be back? I'd love to see him back. But
He
I'm
says
just,
he wants
like,
to do more.
He
feels
says he
like
wants
he's
to do more.
becoming like more of a thespian. Like,
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that would is happy doing both. Like as long as he's able to do both, he'll be happy doing Spider-Man. I mean, Ben Kingsley was the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 and came back.
he's an actor.
And he's an actor, exactly. Acting. This is cinema.
And now Tom Holland's even come out and says he wants to see Andrew Garfield do Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, and PJ knows. PJ knows all.
He's up. Okay, well,
PJ does know well.
My fellow mediocre way too that PJ is with me. He knows all. That's why I partner up with him. Obviously, I'm smart enough to put myself with the best team possible. I've got you guys here, and I got PJ there. See, it's perfect. Why do you have to talk about Jarvi like that, Kelly? That's just not nice. That's really just not nice at all.
Damn,
Seriously,
Kelly, that's cold.
Seriously, Kelly. I
thought we were friends. Why you go too bad like to me like that? We hung out.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Par for the course, it seems like, Jarvi here. You know, we're gonna go bullying all of them. We're gonna do the whole thing, the entire episode.
So one thing about this news as well is, so I've got no idea who Madame Web is. All I know from her is what I read from this article. But the more interesting thing for me isn't Dakota Johnson. It's the fact that Sandra Bullock has been brought into this article. Not that she was cast in anything, but she was on Jimmy Kimmel, I think, where she talked about the project, and she was like, "Why haven't they contacted me? It seems like it's perfect for her." And there's been like 2 Madame Webs. One is in like an older character.
Yeah,
the other
there
one
is
is a younger one.
an older Madame Web. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't have anything against Dakota Johnson, but I don't know. Sandra Bullock as Madame Web sounds way more interesting for me.
You know what? Let's think about that. That could maybe Sandra Bullock is playing the Andrew Garfield game. Maybe she's already cast as an older Madame Web. And maybe Dakota Johnson.
I'd love that. Yeah,
that work well with me. I mean, I love Sandra B. I always do that. So that'd be cool. Am I excited about it? Not yet. Give me more time when you see some stuff. I mean, you see a trailer or something eventually, maybe hear more about it. Maybe we'll get excited about it. I'm excited enough with that Spider-Verse to see where they're going. I just wish I was more hyped about it. I wish I had a clearer idea, because right now it's hard to get excited, but I'm kind of like, I'm seeing a lot of, I want to throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks at this point.
Yeah,
it's hard to get each one. You know?
It's a good way for them to go back to the multi-dimensional thing.
Yeah,
which I think with everything that they're doing in a minute, I think they're going to go back to
it. I'm afraid that they'll overdo it a little bit. There's been so much multiverse stuff now. There's like the Spider-Verse has its own multiverse. Now we had No Way Home. Now, now we're getting Multiverse of Madness. Now, the Sonyverse, the live-action Sonyverse, also a multiverse. Like
DC Flashpoint, it's gonna happen.
Tone it back a little bit.
Spider-Verse made so much money. Of course, they're gonna try and do it live action.
You mean No Way Home?
No, I'm talking Spider-Verse.
That's right.
Spider-Verse
the animated
didn't
movie.
Make very much money though.
Didn't it? I thought it made a shitload of money.
It did enough to warrant a sequel, but it didn't do like blockbuster money.
I mean, it's still a beloved movie. Like everyone who's seen it, it's the
best. It's the best Spider-Man movie. There you go. So why not?
Made $375 million on a $90 million budget. It's not bad.
That's a lot of money.
So maybe it didn't open very well. Maybe it got traction later, because I remember when it came out, there was. Oh yeah,
it's going to be the same pig that paid Babe and Lost in the Big City.
Exactly, that's the case too. Spider-Verse wasn't the reason No Way Home was. It wasn't necessarily the reason why it exists, but it was a precursor in terms of like was the first one that came out that was a big solid multiverse in a bigger scale. No Way Home was its own thing. They were playing that for a while.
It is kind of a live action
version
of Spider-Verse.
And Flashpoint was also planned for a while as well, though. That's the thing. Like they're all kind of planned simultaneously along those same lines. I mean, it was kind of an interesting. I'm almost surprised it took this long for them to figure that out, because that's been in the comic books for forever. You know, it's been What If was a comic book for the longest time. Anyway, it's the same type of thing, that there's multiple versions out there, and it just surprises me it took so long for them to go. We could bring in all these other characters to say they're multiverse characters. It just it's just such an easy thought process for me. But you know what? Here we are. We're doing movie execs aren't always. I want to say the brightest, because they know what they're doing most of the time, but like they have their faults, I guess.
Speaking of Flashpoint and Batman, Segway King tying into Batman, Lego Batman, directed by Chris McKay, who is also going to be directing Nick Cage's Dracula movie, which we found out today starts filming later this year. Written by Robert Kirkman, directed by Chris McKay, who does the Lego Batman. Nick Cage, his Dracula movie Renfield starts shooting this year. Who is hyped to see Nick Cage as Dracula?
I first want to interrupt and just say that was a great segue.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a great segue.
Thank you. Segue King.
Segue King. This is a hard movie right now for me to wrap my head around. I gotta say, all I've seen about it, I can't tell the tone they're really going for.
Same here.
It's Nick Cage's Dracula. What more do you want?
But it's a comedy now, isn't it?
But it's partially comedy, but you got Nicholas Hoult in there.
Exactly.
And, I mean, it's hard to like. All these are talented people. There's no doubt that everyone involved in this is talented. And to see again, you're right, Matty. Seeing Nick Cage as Dracula, that's a fucking like no-brainer for me. But it's hard for me to like really say how excited I am because I want to see a little bit more. I can't wait to see the first footage for this. I can't wait to see what this tone is going to be of this film, and then I'll go. But I mean. And Will says it best. I mean, they have me in Nick Cage. Honestly, I'm going to see the movie either way at this point. That's true, obviously. But I'm very curious as to which way they're going with it.
I think you said it right there. You're very curious about Nick Cage, but this article kind of reveals that Nicholas Holt's character is the main character, and Nick Cage is the second lead.
Which is actually, I like that. I like that they're going to concentrate on Renfield or whatever the henchman, because it lets Nicolas Cage be a little more unleashed. I think if Nicolas Cage was the lead character you're focused on, and you have to have that like journey, and you have to he would be the quote unquote straight man that people have to play off of. If Nicholas Hoult is the lead, that means Nicolas Cage gets to be the guy who's being unhinged and play off him. I think that's some blood. Exactly. That's pretty good.
There are two people that I am dying to see play Dracula: Nick Cage and Tommy Wiseau.
That would be great.
I thought you were going to say Tom Cruise.
No. Wasn't he meant to play Dracula at one point?
Well, he pretty much played the vampire in Interview with a Vampire.
Oh yeah, he was Interview with a Vampire, but
yeah.
But didn't
he was the
who's
mummy.
He meant to? Oh, that's right. He did
the mummy,
that.
The Monsterverse stuff.
Yeah, he did that. Oh,
yeah, that's what he did.
Oh boy, yeah, he did that. Moving on. Nick Cage in anything is a must watch, but Cage of Dracula, give me now. See, PJ gets me. PJ understands me.
And I get it too. Like I said, I'm right there with it. The only qualification I had is I just want to see what it is more. That's all. I'm either way. I'm in.
It is what it says on the box.
Okay.
This could be Cage's way back into the good graces. Now, I think this Cage movie, like
Pig.
Dude, yeah. Pig was the perfect first step, but very much an indie movie. We need a big splash now. We need a big splash.
I don't know. Nick Cage hasn't left as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
Well,
for us, he hasn't, but for the
idiots
audience
who don't know what they're talking about.
I want to see National Treasure 3. I want to see him doing these kinds of adventure movies.
I'm not going to get that though because Disney can't make a fucking.
Yeah, there was an article about it. It's probably not going to happen.
See?
But something.
PJ gets me. PJ gets me. I literally just said that.
He does, right?
Man, yeah, we lose Wonderland.
Well, proves my point though. These are kind of alternative movies. Let's call them that.
Speaking of our guys, another one of our guys coming back to the big screen. Jerry B is back with Den of Thieves 2. Now we have a title, and the shooting begins this spring. We have a title. It is Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. Now,
so
as you can tell by one of the tattoos. Yeah, I was gonna say you can say by one of the tattoos on my wrist. I've been a Pantera fan for the longest time in my life. So the fact that Jerry B is going to be playing Phil Anselmo, the lead singer of Pantera, in Den of Thieves 2, I am very excited for this.
Okay, speaking from the heart now, yes. No, I am stoked. Den of Thieves was one of my favorite films of that year in terms of like the surprise. I guess surprise isn't the right word because I mean it's Jerry B. You know what you're going to get. It's Jerry B. action. What do you do?
Yeah.
But it was really good, solid Jerry B. action. I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing I want to see him doing. And Jerry, PJ said, we want that too. I want the Fallen franchise to continue. Absolutely.
We have one. Actually, me and Andrew Guy have started writing the 4th installment. It's called Atlantis Has Fallen. Oh. And it's actually the prequel, and it goes back, and it's an ancestor of Jerry B trying to stop the lost city of Atlantis from falling.
Okay.
And Morgan Freeman plays the king of Atlantis.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. I like that. Yes, exactly. I agree because 50 Cent was it. Yeah, I thought this movie was not going to be that great. I thought this was because it seems like Jerry B had the Fallen franchise, and all of his other action thrillers are kind of like they're okay, they're good, everything else. This one actually was solid. This one was really solid.
This was a dark character, dark action. Like it wasn't sort of like a comedy thing that he's been doing at some point.
There was more. It was more about. It wasn't exactly. It wasn't just an action adventure piece. There was more to it. It had more depth to it. It almost felt like
Training Day,
compare it to, like a Training Day type of thing, or something to that effect. Exactly, something a little more weighty, a little more meaty. And O'Shea Jackson did a great job in the role. I thought it really worked on so many different levels. And to see that they're going to come back and Butler's going to be tracking down Jackson after the ending of Den of Thieves, that sounds great to me. I can't wait to see this. Sweaty Big Nick throwing away donuts, going to be like. I mean, this is perfect to have. I want Nick. I want Jerry B to have two franchises running the same back and forth. He can do that. It works. Let him do two action franchises at the same time.
Also, I got to shout out Den of Thieves for including UFC featherweight Max Holloway in the movie. He was one of the whatever you guys call your bin men, like on the garbage truck. He was one of the guys on the garbage truck, the Hawaiian guy, and UFC fighter Michael Bisping was also in the movie. So shout out to Jerry B for giving UFC fighters minimal, tiny roles in B-tier action movies. You're really keeping that stereotype going, Jerry B. So we appreciate that.
So really quickly, Kelly says the fourth night was. It is Night Has Fallen. Was
no. That's the fifth. That's the fifth. Atlantis Has Fallen is number 4.
Where is this
Night
from?
Has Fallen. The
Where
fourth has. No, well, Wikipedia already said it. In November, they announced that 3 additional Has Fallen films are in developments. On November 20th, the 4th film, titled Night Has Fallen, was given the green light, with Butler confirmed to reprise his role as Mike Banning and serving as producer. Wahl will return to the series as director. The script he co-wrote with Kamen. And yeah, so it seems like they have at least 2 more movies to follow, and potentially plans to expand the series to a franchise with television spin-offs being considered.
I'm telling
So
you,
they're really
me
going
and
all
Guy
in.
working on one. Me and Guy writing one.
And look, hey, PJ, I get it. You like that. You can like the Night Has Fallen franchise better. I get it. I get that. But to me, why can't you have both? We're getting both. Isn't more Jerry B better than less Jerry B?
Agreed.
If you were getting this instead of Night Has Fallen, be upset. Go ahead. Go cry at your pillows. Go shave your head and go to sleep. But if we're getting both.
Not to mention, we're also starring Kenobi standout O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yep, he's gonna be back. I have some gripes with this news though. I'm all aboard with Den of Thieves 2, but I'm not the biggest fan of what they said the sequel is gonna be about. Like that's fine that he's still chasing O'Shea Jackson, but my problem was that Den of Thieves 2 will be a globe-trotting fun adventure. Now, keep listening. Jared Butler has previously offered some insight into what audiences can expect from the follow-up, describing it as a more fun, sexy movie. Now, this sounds like they're trying to turn this into Red Notice or something. This is not what I want from Den of Thieves, because what made Jerry B's character so freaking awesome was that he had like so many like vices. He was a scumbag. He treated suspects and like informants really badly. He like crashed his ex-wife's like dinner party. It was like the biggest dick to the new boyfriend. This is what I want to see, like the dark side of humanity and sort of like a gritty cops and robbers movie. I don't want a globe-trotting fun adventure really. So I'm a little bit wary.
We're gonna get Jerry B nude scene in this one.
That's right.
No,
that's sexy about it.
I'll watch a porn with Jerry B. I don't even need anything. I'll just watch him.
Sexy about
Okay.
And PJ, I'm so mad I get White House down too.
Oh
Hey,
my
fair
God.
enough, I guess. All right, that's it for our news bits today. We can talk about our next thing. We have our topic of the week. We had some of our 3 favorite moments in sports, film, history, and I gotta tell you, I don't even have a list because I had so many to write down that I think I'm gonna wing it as I go along.
Is this going to turn into PLD's top 50 greatest sports moments?
It
I'm
might.
Sorry.
It might.
So this got left off my list, and yada
And
yada
this got left
yada.
off my list. And this,
This,
and this, and
this was a
this.
great moment. And now let's get to our list. Oh, sorry,
Basically,
guys.
he's
no
going to start
time. Let's
listing
get to
every
the
movie in the
Bobo.
Rocky franchise, film by film. He's going to go
Could
Rocky
happen.
1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4.
Could happen. There's a
But,
ton of them in there.
Spoiler
Okay.
alert, 2 of my 3 are fighting films.
Same here.
Just-
Same
just
here.
Okay, good.
And
I just
spoiler
need-
alert, without knowing either of you's lists, we are going to be sharing one 100%. Like, I have no doubts that we are sharing one.
Okay. Buck says greatest moments in sports movies anytime the Yankees lose. I always agree with that. That's my thing.
Is anyone even
someone-
watching baseball anymore?
This guy?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love baseball.
I'm
I-
glad,
now,
because it feels like
normally
no
I
one's
would do
watching
that.
baseball anymore.
I would
Well,
do
it's
that.
off season right now, but
Well, I mean,
and
overall.
no, Pat, I'm not going to throw myself in the starlight. I mean, I
And-
could, but I just fight
and-
myself out.
Well, that sounds like a great idea. Sarlacc's dead.
That's true. That's true. How many Ed Harris movies? There's actually one on my list potentially. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not going to probably have it. So.
Wait, Ed Harris sports movie?
Yeah, there's an Ed Harris sports movie. There's one, at least one.
Sports movie.
It was
Ed
Warrior
Harris
2. He was going to
Yes.
be
Number one, naked gut umpire scene from ASG. You know what?
Oh,
That is definitely fun. That is definitely a fun
yeah.
sequence. And I love baseball and hate the Yankees, Kelly. I love you even more.
Pat, I got to Sarlacc guy.
That's really that's impressive. We maybe you talk to Matty. Maybe you guys can work something out. Matty, why don't we start with you, my friend?
Okay, my number 3. Guess what, guys? It's going to be the one that we're probably going to all link on. Warrior,
Yes.
the Grillo speech.
Yes.
Real quick, the best part about me not having a complete list is that now I can knock that off my list. Yes, I fully agree.
And here's why.
Do you see? Do you see why I'm Bitch Jarvi? Why I need to be Bitch Jarvi on this show? Do you see now?
Now we know.
See what I have to deal with.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matty. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is the most legitimate part of the movie. And I can speak to this because this is something that I've had to endure.
Mhm.
When Grillo is there in his face, in Brendan's face, and he's basically saying, dude, if you don't knock this guy out, you don't have a home. Like, this is all or nothing. Like, you're losing right now. Sometimes when you're in there, you could be down 2 rounds in a 3-round fight. Your coach can give you all the technical advice in the world. Sometimes that's not going to mean shit. Sometimes
You're probably
just
gassed. You're all over the place. Like,
you
you can't
gassed, you're
concentrate
there,
your
you're
thoughts.
like, fuck, I'm losing, I'm getting my ass beat. Like, what the fuck is the point of us even being here right now? Sometimes you just need them to, my coach, shout out Pete Mercer, has slapped me across the face and been like, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck back in there and go fucking knock this fucker out.
Right.
So when I saw that, I was like, Frank Grillo, you beautiful bastard. Like, that was perfect. The way he's just looking straight at him and just calmly saying, look, dude, you don't knock this guy out, you don't have a home. Why are we here? Why are we here?
Right.
It's such a simple question,
And
but in that
before he
moment-
even, sorry.
it's such a simple question. Why are we here? But in that moment, it's so hard to answer because you're like, shit, dude, I don't know. I don't know. Why are we here? Why did I think this was a good idea? And yeah, it's a powerful moment. And obviously, you have his wife, his kid. Like, he could lose his job. He could lose his home. He's about to fight his brother in the next round. It's like all this emotion just coming together in one scene, and Grillo just perfect. That was probably the single greatest performance of Frank Grillo's career, other than the entire movie of Boss Level.
There's even the way he gets to the line, if you don't knock him out, we don't have it. He says, why are we here, Brendan? We can go get tests, we can go home, you can go to your kids, we can do all of that. And then he goes, but why are we here, Brendan? Like, he tells him the whole story about his family, and then he comes up to the line that if you don't knock him out, we can't do any of that. We can't get tests, we can't go home to the kids, because you won't have a home.
he leads him along the path because he's obviously tired, he's obviously hurt. Like, yeah, we'll get out of here. We'll just do it. We'll do it. And he leads you along that path, and then he hits you as hard as a physical punch could have hit.
Yeah.
And it's like boom,
Harder.
harder and harder. Yeah, absolutely harder. And yeah, it's a brilliant moment. It's a great pause. Grillo is a seriously underrated character actor in that. Not even a character actor. He's just seriously
He's being himself
emotional because he really is himself. But he gets it. He has his emotional experience, and he gets that across in a way that not a lot of actors can actually. But he's he's my one of the favorite parts of that movie, and I fully agree with that. Good choice, Matty.
And he's been around fight sports long enough to he knows he knows how the game works. So for him he was able to put in a genuine performance in that. And I thought, yeah.
What made, because there were times when I wanted to bump this off my list. I didn't want to, but there were so many great moments that almost made it bump off my list. But why it's my number 2. Why it stayed up there is what follows the speech as well. He gets up, and he starts getting into Koba's face. He starts almost getting the hooks in, getting the punches in. At some point, the commentators, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fight. They're trading punches, and when he finally gets that, what's the lock called? Not Kimura, but
an omoplata.
What he said. He gets the lock.
He does go for a Kimura. He goes for a Kimura. Then he walks over, and then he gets the shoulder and traps him in an omoplata.
Yeah, right. And the way he shows the physical exertions, the way he's crushing that hook in, Campana yelling, "Break it, break it, break it," and then he just taps out. That whole sequence with the speech makes it so much better. Why I couldn't keep this off my list.
Damn, that's a good list. That's a good one. Absolutely. All right, Trevor, why'd you get with your number 3?
My number 3 is a movie called Rush. I had to keep this up there.
Love this movie.
It's there's so many great moments in this movie. With my top 45 moment of Rush starts now. Okay. Anyway, bad joke. Didn't work. Anyway, this
you
moment,
tried.
I tried. This moment is the final race where Hunt is, where Niki Lauda's out, Hunt's in. They're racing in Japan. I think it's raining. It's super dangerous. He breaks his gear lever knob. His hands are bleeding. He's at 5th place or something. He has to finish at least 3rd to win the championship. And he goes into the pit stop. The guys are they're changing his tires. He's losing paces. He's 5th, 6th. The guys, all right, Hunt, you gotta take care of yourself now. Just ease it off. Where there's always next year. With a whole freaking helmet on, the face mask on, you can see Hemsworth coming through. He's acting with his eyes. The only thing he says is, "Fuck it." Slams the visor down, pulls in the gear, and just fucking bolts it, floors it, and gets 3rd place. This scene is the epitome of a fist pump moment.
I love it. I totally love it. Okay. I'll move on to my number 3 that I guess I had to leave off for Love of the Game, Jarvi. I'm very sad. I'm very sad.
I had to as well. I left it off as well. Off the mechanism. It went off my list.
Oh, God, there's some... because I do love one sports movie better. It's sports movies, especially sports film moments, are usually the dramatic ones, or they're usually the ones that really hit your feels. I wanted to counter that a little bit with one of my choices, and it's my favorite comedy, one of my favorite comedies of all time, which is Major League.
Oh wow! Okay.
Ooh.
I love Major League so much, and there's a scene that really gets me. I laugh, but it's still powerful. Charlie Sheen obviously plays Wild Thing, and he spends the whole film. He's a really fast pitcher, but he doesn't really throw with control. He started to learn a little bit by the end of it. They had this whole sequence where he ends up sleeping with Roger Doran, the third baseman's wife, sees Roger Doran on TV cheating on him, so she goes out, dolls up, and goes sleeps with Charlie Sheen's character, unknowing. Charlie Sheen doesn't know that this is Roger Doran's wife, and so Charlie Sheen wakes up, and she says, and she's leaving, she's getting dressed. She's like, actually, I didn't even get your name. She's like, Mrs. Roger Doran. And she walks out. As she walks out, you see the Tom Berenger next to her. And Tom Berenger sees her. And Tom Berenger knows Roger Doran's character very well. So he knows the wife. And she's like, what the fuck just happened? He walks in, and Charlie Sheen's like, I had no idea. And so they go to the game the next day. And Baron's like, I have no idea what the fuck this is going on. I have no idea what we can just stay away from him. This is completely out of control. We're playing for the fucking champion. We got to play for we win this and we're in the playoffs, divisional championship. We're going against the Yankees. We have the match where finally the whole game goes on. Sure enough, they have to call in the wild thing to close out the game. He comes into the slot. He walks in. He starts warming up. You see Ryder Dorn going. He's pissed off. And actually, before the game, Ryder Dorn asked Tom Berenger, "Where's Vaughn? Where's Vaughn?" And they all got to keep them apart. And finally, the game's about to begin again. The batter starts coming up. Dorn walks up to the mound, and all you see Tom Berenger just lift his catch bat, going, "Ah, shit." Walks up, shoots Charlie Sheen, takes the ball from him. Charlie Sheen doesn't know what to do. He's kind of like, takes it. He goes, Vaughn, I just got one thing to say to you. Strike this motherfucker out. And walks away. And it just made me laugh. It's so perfectly sports complex. We're putting aside all this shit. We got a fucking game to win. We got to fucking do this right. And afterwards, they win the game. Sure enough, Ryder Dorn goes up. They tell him, goes, hey! Knocks him out, picks him up, and hugs him. I love the sports, the camaraderie of a baseball team and things like that. It just hit me in the right way. I still watch that scene every time. One of my favorite scenes of all time. I love it so much.
I loved hearing this because I know you people in the chat probably don't know. Because I'm not a big baseball guy. I've seen a few movies. I haven't seen Major League. So hearing you talk about this scene without me seeing the movie was a blast.
I know nothing about baseball, but Major League is a damn good movie.
I finally watched Caddyshack, so Major League is like the next classic comedy that I need to see.
Oh, so good, so good. All right, with that on, who's next? One was it?
Me with my number 2.
Yes,
and this one again, it's tough because it's not only a classic, but it's kind of.
So you want to see what I'm wearing? Not the Stanton jersey. It's not the Stanton jersey.
It's kind of a historical moment. Everyone knows. I love boxing. So I'm a boxing historian. So I'm gonna go with the scene in Raging Bull when Jake LaMotta, he's getting lit up like a Christmas tree, and he's getting the absolute shit beat out of him. Sugar Ray wins by TKO, and then you get the end of it. LaMotta just walks over to him and he goes, hey, you never got me down, man. And he's just got this shit-eating grin on his face, covered in blood, battered up, and he's like, you never got me down. And that to me, like that was a win for him, because like he even walks away and he's like smiling, he's grinning, he's playing up to the crowd, because he's like, yeah, you got the TKO, but you didn't knock me down. You said you're gonna knock me down, you didn't knock me down.
Sounds like something I would do. I'm a sore loser.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm the worst loser ever. Like, pray to God you never play beer pong against me or something. Oh my God, I will destroy your evening.
That's funny. Oh man.
So I can relate to that moment.
And to me, Raging Bull is the greatest boxing movie. I go up and down between that and Cinderella Man.
Oh,
but like, to me, Raging Bull, like, gun to my head, I'm probably gonna say Raging Bull.
Can I ask what was your Cinderella Man moment going to be?
Oh shit!
If you had to pick one,
let me get back to you on that.
That's
not something like I can't just pull that from my head. I got to think about that one, Jarvi.
I'll give you one, and there's no dialogue, nothing needed. Russell Crowe just goes. When he's about to fight the number one contender, like when he's on his comeback tour, like first time, like out of retirement, he's like, yeah, I'm loose. This is just like, I'm doing this for money. And then he gets introduced into the ring and it just does this. And you can see like the hunger coming back to him. The music comes on and he freaking knocks out Corn Griffin. He's fighting Corn Griffin. He knocks that guy out.
Is that your number 2?
No, it's not. I pulled a PLD.
Wow, look at this. Look, I was going to wait till you finish, and then I was going to say, I was like, oh, look who's coming up with the honorable mentions now. I see.
I told you I'm a sore loser, so this is what I'll do.
All right, well, it's my number 2 then now, since we already got your number 2 with Warrior.
Yep, that's Warrior.
Correct. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad.
I'm going to say one movie and then I'm going to decide which. There's 2 parts in this movie that I would choose, so I have to decide which one I want to choose. The movie, Miracle.
I knew this was coming.
Okay.
There's 2 parts I would choose from. I'm going to choose the one. It was either going to be the who do you play for?
Yep, classic.
But I chose to go the other way. Bruising the leg's a hell of a long way from the heart, candy ass. What'd you call me? You heard me? You want me to play? Is that what you want? I want you to be a hockey player. I am a hockey player. You want to play on one leg? I'll play on one leg. But obviously, guy's injured, and he's like, he knows he needs to fire him up. He gets yelling and screaming, like, what the hell's going on? Holy shit, this guy's fucking like really in his face. And the best part about the whole scene, after it's all done, after the whole fight, guys all ramped up, ready to come back in the game and everything else, he walks out by his assistant coach. He's like, think that worked? And the coach is like, smiles, like, yeah. Good job, coach. I smile at that scene every time. It's a perfect sign of a coach pushing on a player that needed a little push. It's so funny. It's so classic. Kurt Russell at his best. Definitely second favorite one at that point.
Love that you put a hockey moment in there. Love it.
I wanted to go to their baseball one, but I didn't.
Oh my God, I might change my number one now. No, but Matty,
do you want to go with your number one now? Mine's kind of obvious. Like anyone who knows me, like, that's great. I'll just go. My number one comes from my favorite movie of all time. Comes from A Knight's Tale.
Oh, that is a sports movie. Wow,
it's a sports movie. It may be a medieval sports movie, but guess what? Still a sports.
Please tell me it's the moment that I want it to be.
It is the moment where, right at the end of the movie.
Oh,
I mean, it's hard for me to pick like my favorite moment of the movie because it's such a sentimental movie to me. But in terms of just like my favorite sporting moment, I wanted to pick Chaucer's first speech. Bettany's first speech is Chaucer, where he says, "My ladies and everyone not sitting on a cushion." That would be the easy thing to me, but there's something so satisfying. And at the end, where Heath Ledger as William, he's sitting there, he's got his armor off, his arm's busted, he's got his joust hooked to his arm. Adamar's standing there, he's got the fist at the end of his joust, full armor, just staring him down, and he's like, "You know what? I don't care. Lace it to my arm." And they're like, "Are you sure? Like, you're being kind of crazy right now. Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah. Strap it to my arm. Let's do this." And he rides out there, and you just hear him shout, "William!" And they just completely knocks Adamar straight off the horse. And then you get the moment with everyone there leaning over him going, "You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have absolutely been found wanting." And I was just like, that is because Rufus Sewell, he's the ultimate shit weasel is Adamar. Like I hate Adamar. I hate that he's so good. He is so good that I can't stand him. He's such a little weaselly little prick. That when he gets knocked off the horse, and he's even at the start when he's like, "Jocelyn, I myself have never been on horse." It's like you're about to be. And it's done by the guy who he got locked up for not being a noble. The guy from Cheapside, which being from London, that's a pretty shitty part of London to come from. And you know, he's he was the son of a blind man, and like
that's the moment.
Dude, I love that movie. I love that movie.
Did he follow his stars?
He did change his stars. A man can change his stars.
I gotta rewatch that. I really do gotta rewatch that.
I love that movie.
The reuniting moments. That's what does it for me. Just breaks me down.
He's pissed. He'll see you in the list. Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein. Wait, I love that you picked, because I would have never guessed. I would have never picked A Knight's Tale for a sports movie, but it definitely is a sports movie.
It's my way to get that in there. POD finds ways to get Ed Harris into things. I find my way to get A Knight's Tale into things.
I'm all here for it. That's what we're here for. To get
and jousting is a sport. It was a sport.
100%.
Definitely.
Still is. If you go to medieval times, they still do it.
Why didn't I pick Gladiator?
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh,
That counts. Yeah. So, what did you pick?
Well, gladiators did war in the big arena. So my
Yeah, they
number
did.
one also preludes to war. And you will never guess what this is. This is from a movie called Creed 2.
Creed
The
2.
final ring walk, when Creed is walking to the ring.
God.
The first time he goes up against Drago, we get this flashy rap song, we get the lights, we get everything. He goes up. So for the second time, when he goes to fight Drago, you think he's gonna do the Tommy Reardon thing, that there's gonna be no music, sort of he's just gonna go there, no flash, nothing. The lights go dark, a little light starts to go around the arena, and you hear this bass, bow, bow. Lights go on. His fiancée starts singing a song, I Will Go to War, and he follows his fiancée to the ring. Like there's no more of a romantic gesture and also being so badass at the same time. You're being led to the ring by your soon-to-be wife. That is the ultimate badass moment.
Wow.
That was such a goosebump moment for me, and
that whole last fight is super emotional, especially when it gets to the point where the tables turn and you start to see Ivan like looking at his son like why am I doing this? These Russian his mother doesn't care about him. The Politburo don't care about him. Why am I putting my son through this? Fuck, I'm gonna throw in the towel. And he throws in the towel, and you get that moment of resolution because Rocky never threw in the towel against Apollo.
Right.
And it's just like, oh,
the moment where it did, yeah, it's a very powerful moment. Oh man. Whew. Good choice. Good choice, Jarvi.
PLD is actually emotional right now.
I am. It's very powerful. And let me say, there's one more reason why this is an emotional thing for me. My number one is from Creed 1.
Oh, yes.
This is something that is a well-crafted most well-crafted moment on every single level. And I'm going to say right from the basis, I know it personally affects me because I'm adopted. That partially, so I definitely feel what's going on here. But the whole movie is a phenomenal movie. Let's get that straight. But yes, the moment at the end, Creed gets knocked down, and they're going to the last round. The doctor starts asking. The doctor comes in. Yeah, the doctor asks him, show me your eye, Donna. Show me your eye. How many fingers to hold up? And he got the stitch there, and they're tapping him, showing, he can't see a damn thing because he can go through it. The best part is that Rocky's down there. He's like, all right, man, kid, you did your best. I'm going to throw in the towel. I didn't do that for Apollo. I got to do this for you now. I got to stop this thing. He's like, no, don't stop it. Don't stop it. He's like, I got to prove it. And Rocky doesn't understand what's going on. He has no idea what's going on. He's like, prove what? I'm not a mistake.
Then the music.
Wait, no. You got to wait for it first because there's a moment of silence. And some of Sylvester Stallone's best acting comes into play right then and there. And it's pretty much a blank slate. He just looks at him, takes that beat, takes that weight, realizes what this is all about, and realizes he's got to get back in his corner. And he's like, he starts going, all right, I never got to thank Apollo for helping me. He brought me back from a place, but he hasn't helped me nearly the way you helped me. And if I'm going to go home, I got to fight this thing. I'm going to fight my cancer. Then you're going to fight. And if you can do it, you're going to fight. You're over that side of the room, and you're going to knock his head off. You're going to knock that son of a bitch down. Can you do it? He's like, yeah. Like, wow. Can you do it? Tell me. I'm going to knock that son of a bitch down. That's right. You know why? Because you're a Creed kid, and I love you. And then, right then, Ryan Coogler, who has not used the Rocky theme all movie, he has not done this big moment. You're waiting for that moment. Oh, that's when it comes in. Dun, 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 and Creed coming in, and then he starts boxing the hell out of him. And you hear Max Kellerman, and it's silly, almost silly in a way, but it's silly, that cheesy, fun kind of way.
It's Rocky fighting.
Exactly, and he's better, and you hear Max Kellerman going, and he's giving body blows like he's Rocky Balboa. He's going to numbers like he's Apollo Creed, and going in and he knocks him down. He doesn't win, and that's the best part. He doesn't win the fight.
Yep.
But that's his victory. Is he knocked, and that's his first time he's been on the mat. And
And you also know it's good when Max Kellerman doesn't take me out of anything combat sports related. Normally when he opens his mouth, I'm like, dude, shut up.
It was just so powerful.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't know that about you. So for starters, thank you sharing that. Like I didn't know that about you, and to know that it has that effect on you.
Yeah.
As
It
a
really does.
on a personal level, like that's awesome, man, that you could take that from it. Like like even thinking about it, like I never thought of that moment. Like I always thought of it as being like the parallel between him and his dad, and like
Right.
the Rocky never threw in the towel. Like I never even thought of the I want to know I'm not a mistake. Like I never thought of that. So thank you for giving that perspective for it, because that's just made me think about it in a whole different way.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's a powerful thought.
When we picked top 3 sports moments in movies, I did not think this was going to be that big of a sob fest right here, because this is getting like I got like I didn't tear up, but I got teary eyed.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maxwell. Like
Max.
I just love sports, and when sports and cinema combine beautifully, some of my favorite moments. Especially, thanks, Maxwell. I really appreciate that, dude. Like he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like we all love sports. We all love, be it football, baseball, fighting. Like
it's a naturally dramatic scene. They're naturally dramatic moments that really tug on your heartstrings.
Yeah, everyone loves. We want to see our guy win.
Whew.
So yeah, this was a great conversation. I feel this was really good.
All sorts of sports: baseball, hockey, football, any of them. They all have those moments that like
hockey.
No matter.
I mean, look at the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Flying V.
No matter what sport it is, there's always a way that you, like a fan will love it and find a way to get emotionally attached to it. That's why we love sports. So.
And just when we weren't getting emotional enough.
Oh no! I cannot talk now. I cannot talk Book of Boba Fett, guys. No.
That's our next section. That's where it's kind of weird that we have to actually go on to another section now in a way. But we do. That's our topic. I didn't do that. My hands are up. I didn't do that. That was Gunner.
That was me. That was me. But, listen, there is only one way that we can summarize this episode, and
wow,
I'm not a religious man, but
yeah, like this episode hit me very hard.
Yeah,
I don't care anything more. We can have arguments. People have arguments about like what show this is, or who's doing what, or like why Boba Fett's not around. I don't care. It's being Star Wars, a television series at this point. And we're just getting hit with moments that they're making me feel like a kid again. I'm getting to see things I never thought I'd get to see. Let's just take it right from the beginning. Let's take it right from the beginning and go for it.
Yep.
Just because we're taking a little bit longer on our sports thing today. I was going to.
We're actually making good time.
We're actually pretty good. Like Bitch Jarvi did his job well. That we.
Good job, bitch. All right, let's start it out. We start out on Tatooine in Mos Pelgo, as we soon find out with the evaporators. They got the Pike syndicates that are they're loading their wares, and right away, right from the get go, we get something. The first special thing, we get to see the return of Cobb Vanth.
Yes,
stoked about it.
Think it through.
Timothy Oliphant, the beautiful son of a bitch.
That was the best part. That was the best part of the whole thing. Think it through. Like the way he said it right after he shot him too. Think it through.
And I know we're not going to get into it, but it's the perfect setup for the end.
Oh, it is.
Because he shoots those 4 guys dead like that.
It's there to say it's
so
there to
fast
showcase, to show you how fast and how good he is. I mean,
then he just goes.
To remind you rather, because we saw it in his first appearance. You saw how good he was, but this is like now we're going to show you how good he is at that.
Yeah, and without the armor too, so he's still like, I don't care, I don't need the armor. And he's just like, we'll just put it down. You got you read the map wrong, and it's just like, oh damn, you are so cool.
I mean, he's got a lot of experience with this, with the whole Justified show and everything else. He knows what he's doing as a Western and Deadwood. And he knows what he's doing. He looked a little weird without the armor. Not going to lie, it was kind of a little strange to see Cobb without the armor in a way.
Kind of skinny.
Pretty skinny, yeah.
Yeah, he was very skinny.
A little lanky. I had like the little scarf thing or bandana thing. I like that. That's cool. But looking a little older. Got a lot more of that gray in the hair. But otherwise, it was pretty cool opening. I liked exactly how it was. But let's go right to the next part. The next part is holy shit. Like I can tell you, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it right now. Boy, was I fucking wrong.
I think
last week I was arguing. I was like, yeah, we ain't seeing Mando until the end of next season. We're not going to see Grogu. That's going to be all done in Mandalorian.
We're not going to see Luke.
We're not going to see Luke. We're not going to see anybody at all. We're just going to. And I was like, oh, like that. So that's where I was dead set. Right after Vanth, we got to see the Naboo starfighter. Like, I perked up and went, oh boy,
He's
I'm wrong.
going to see Grogu.
Right.
Going
We're
Dave.
seeing it here. I'm like, going to see Dave.
And then he lands, and we come
What's
full
the-
circle.
What's
At the start of the show, no droids. He lands on the planet, and he
Hello,
says,
friend.
he sees R2, and he's like, "Hello, friend."
It's character development right there. He actually
What's the planet
appreciates
called?
droids. We don't know yet.
We don't know.
Beautiful planet. Is that the same planet that
I don't think so. I don't
Kylo
think it is.
betrays
No.
Luke? The same.
I don't know.
Because it looks
That
like the
I don't
temple
know.
buildings looks exactly what he pulled down with the Force.
I
And
would
from-
assume that is the way it is. That's what it is at this point, but I don't think we have enough information on that. 'Cause we
No.
haven't
From
seen
what
it
I
yet.
remember of the Kylo Ren run of the comics, I don't think it's the same planet.
It doesn't say it. It doesn't. I don't
It
think
might
there's
be,
anything
I
in
don't
there.
know.
I don't think there was anything in there that like said it couldn't be. So
But the sort of the temple buildings or the huts or whatever the stuff that the androids are building, they does look very similar to
Yeah, it does.
I love those droids.
and I will say I loved those droids too.
I got a question about the droids. Are these droids being controlled by the Force?
I don't think so.
Because
I don't
the
know why
droids
we
were
do
it was a weird thing. Like, first off, the droids are building pretty much a Jedi temple. Like, they're doing exactly something that would fit the needs of a Jedi. So it has to be it can't be just a building, right? It should be
Right.
something.
Maybe they just got programmed like this is the design, go build
Could
it.
have been programmed. Then
I
Like
kinda
an
think that's what they're
AutoCAD
programming.
thing put into him.
the
or
man that was
something.
talking to the droid sort of, and they build a bench for him. And I'm
I
like,
kinda thought
"Whoa,
I
what
thought
is-
R2 was in
Best
control of
lines.
droids. That's what I kind of thought.
Dude,
I kind of
so
thought
I
like R2
figured
was
Luke
controlling
knows.
and R2 said it.
Do you think so? Because for
That
a
was the way
second there, I was like, "Huh, interesting. Like, this could actually be a fun twist that these are like somehow like passively controlled by the Force."
I mean, it's an interesting idea. I definitely didn't see it that way. My initial thought was because R2 like kind of spoke to them. He brought him over, and like it seemed like he was like that's why he shut down. He's like okay,
R2's
look,
the
I'm done
foreman?
now. What was that? R2's the foreman. Yeah, R2's the foreman. That's I kind of figured it.
And
Alright,
Jarvi
he's
brought it
lost
up.
control.
My favorite line of the whole episode. Is that a bench?
How many
Wow.
times have you been to a shoe store and wanted to see something like that appear?
The bench. So perfect.
It's just so din. Like, what's a Jedi?
Right.
Is that a bench? Like, he's so clueless about everything. It's great.
So they do a good job. They do a good job as far as like pushing the not surprise factor, anticipation up. They don't give it to us right away. We land the planet. We see R2. There's no one else there. He has his like comic dialogue that's like we're kind of like in your head, kind of like get over it. Are we seeing him or not? What's going on?
The droid lifts the rock. You see the rock coming from beyond. You think, oh, they're lifting rocks. No, it stands, right? Like they're sort of building you up to it.
It's so building up. It's so perfectly done. Filoni, you're the man. And this actually, I will say real quick before I even go any further, the definitive thing I have to say is this is the best that Dave Filoni's directed.
Yeah.
I love his storytelling. I love what he did with the Clone Wars and Rebels. His live action direction has had some clunky moments as far as the actual live action direction went. This was pretty solid. I could see him moving on and doing like this is actually what needs to happen. He needs to have a few episodes of live action underneath his like wings, so to speak, and then give him his own eventually get his own series or maybe his own movie at some point.
He'll
But
probably do
it's
Ahsoka,
getting
right?
there. It's getting there. I don't know. I'm thinking he probably will be heavily involved in Ahsoka. That's what I think.
Well,
I'm hoping this is building him up to get that at this point.
speaking of segue, you're mentioning Ahsoka, who shows up next.
Well, no, not yet. No, first we see
See Luke.
we see Dave. Yeah, we see Dave and we go first. Dave, because he lies down, and then we go see Dave first.
Right.
Dave.
She
No, let's
brings
do it.
them. She brings
Right.
them.
Preface
Let's
for
go.
those who have never seen the show before: Grogu on this channel is known as Dave.
Yes, hello there, FCL Star Wars champion Brennan Marr.
Yeah,
Happy
Brennan.
to see you there. Hello there, General Marr, I should say. In this case, yes, Dave is what we call Grogu. That's just our little code word.
For those who don't know,
We named him before his name came out, and so that's we kind of stuck with it. So you gotta go there. And, well, where the hell is Dave?
And we finally see why the deepfake dude from YouTube was recruited. And oh
Holy
my
shit.
frigging god, he nailed
Yeah,
it. This
It
is
was perfect.
this. There's some like if I
Near
had to
perfect, I
bicker,
should say.
some eyelid problems when he's like has his eyes. Nothing else to say. Like
Near
this is almost
perfect.
perfect.
It was world leaps. I was someone who was never even like too upset about the Mandalorian appearance as far as it looks.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It didn't deter me from the story. I was like, that fits and does well. I could see a whole series done like this. I could
Exactly.
see Luke heading up a series like this. They do it enough. They do something like off ground. They do enough off camera. Like they do a lot of tricks still. A lot of times they do the voice that goes off camera, which is a smart move. Smart, we don't see him. I mean, he did talk a little bit, but you don't have to do it all the time. Keeps up the from what was best about it was his like emotional responses, like facially. Like for example, when Grogu picks up when Dave picks up the frog. And he opens his eyes and does this little, and it works.
Micro expressions.
The micro expressions. That's what.
And then he just takes his hand and then just lifts all the frogs.
Yeah.
And then you just see Dave's eyes just like, whoa. Oh my
that's
God.
What I can do, huh?
He's just like buffet time.
And then he's like, he can see that Dave's not really concentrating, and he goes, "Let's go for a walk."
Yeah.
And then they're going for a walk, and Luke force lifts him
cute.
as they're walking. Like
I thought he was
God,
jumping at first, and then I
cutest-
just see Luke doing with the hand.
That was the
like,
cutest
that's
thing.
Dude, I gotta tell you, like, this is actually as a parent. This is when my wife had a kid. Like when we were younger kids, that's what we do. We'd have them in our hands. We'd walk,
swing them.
and we'd swing them.
It's
exactly that. That's what it is. And it's so perfect. It's so great. Interesting point from PJ. Doesn't want a full series of movie like this. I guess that's a very.
I don't want one,
point.
But I'd be okay if they use this technology for it. That was the point that we're trying.
I'm actually what I want to say is I'm in between this. Not necessarily small one-off appearances, but give him a supporting role, make a larger overall series where Luke kind of comes and goes and does stuff. Well, I don't know if I necessarily want a full Luke Skywalker series, but maybe something. I almost want to, like, honestly at this point, I almost want a general and not anthology show, but give me a Star Wars series where it's focused on some specific point. And we get Luke coming in every once in a while. We get Han coming every once in a while. We get people just coming like left, or maybe it's centered on the New Republic, like the development of the New Republic or something. Where we have all this stuff, and we'd have all these characters. And I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a cool idea to me to have something in between where he's not a cameo, not a small appearance, but not like where it's focused on him.
So I was watching the Damon stream, their like 3-hour long stream with Thomas Harper the other night.
You're right, Mike. You're right.
He probably does, and he's a legend for that. But
easy on the teeny.
Easy on the teeny.
Easy on the teeny.
I was watching the Damon stream with Thomas Harper the other day, and one of their someone in their chat put it a really good way that I thought we got to start looking at these shows like how they do the Clone Wars, like certain arcs. You'll have certain arcs where they'll go away from the main characters, and then towards the end they'll bring them back. And I feel like that's how this Filoni-verse, as I guess we'll call it, this Favreau Filoni-verse, as we're going to call it. That's
from that franchise. Oh, that's right, taken. Sorry.
Yep. I feel like that's probably what we're going to get. We're going to get a few episodes of certain characters telling the story, and then we're going to get the big, because we know there's an event thing coming, whether it's a movie or a series. Like there's this big like end game level thing that's going to be happening in Star Wars, and I find it pretty hard pressed to believe that Luke isn't going to be a part of that.
Yeah, I agree. I
know that this YouTube guy just cost Sebastian Stan a job, but
it is what it is, my friend. It is what it is.
Talking about the Clone Wars, when Luke is pretty much teaching Grogu, he's not as much teaching Dave, he's reminding him.
Yes.
And what a scene do we get when
the 66 scene.
I gotta tell you, I was so into, like, he starts talking about this. Do you want to remember? I'm like, oh my god, are we fucking gonna see
the
Yoda's planet? Are we gonna see
right?
Yoda? Are we gonna see where he came from? And it passed in my head right before I went there. I was like, or are we gonna see him in the temple? And sure enough, there we are, Order 66, back to life. And we see the clone trooper looking fucking awesome.
Yeah,
flashing down some Jedi.
That was the 501st, buddy.
I know it was. I know
that was the top dogs. I was like, oh shit.
One Jedi looked a little like Sindralig, the lightsaber guy, but we know it can't be because Anakin took care of him in the hologram in episode 3. So I don't think we have any idea who those Jedi were. Maybe if I didn't chance to look into it. If anybody
You get
did.
to see the hilt of the lightsaber really well, so I'm sure that was done on purpose. I don't know whose lightsaber it was, but I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose.
I don't know,
for
but
someone to connect it.
There's a theory that the crest on the wall belonged to Barriss Offee, and that she was the one that saved Grogu. I'm not sure I completely buy it, but
well, that was the interesting part because the Jedi's get killed, and all of a sudden the troopers are running up, and they see Grogu, and they see him like pointing in that direction, and everything, and we don't get to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is no way that Dave Filoni sets that up, and we never find out about it. So we're going to find out about it at some point. That's definitely a good way to set it up and build the anticipation of who saved him and who brought him out. I don't know who it's going to be. Interesting take.
Luke was kind of a dick in that moment because he was just like, "Do you want to remember home? Let me help you." Like, didn't let Dave say no or anything. He was just like, "Let me help you remember trauma,
Exactly,
PTSD,
childhood trauma.
Death.
Like, toddler, watch this death."
And like, not to take away from the cuteness of the moment, but when he's doing like the hurrying Grogu along, it's kind of like he doesn't want to wait for Grogu. He's just like, no, you move at my pace. Come on.
Well, Luke is he's showing some tough love at times. Like he's not like being all cuddly and cute to him. And there's this one line that I wanted to ask you guys that Luke says to Dave. It's a very specific line, and I'm not sure if it has a lot of like. So anyway, he says, "I will teach you to protect yourself."
Okay.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, "I will teach you to become a Jedi to protect others." He says, "The galaxy is a dangerous place. I will teach you to protect yourself." So this kind of, in a way, alluded to me that, sure, Grogu has this attachment. We're not sure. He might not become a Jedi. He might be a Jedi and sort of still be a foundling as well. He's walking like two paths at the moment. So this line that Luke says, "I will teach you to protect yourself," leaves it very open to me.
I'm kind of getting a feeling, and I don't know if I'm alone in this, I just think they're starting to show that Luke is not a great teacher, especially not yet. He's not exactly, this is not.
Well, not later either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, we see that later on, he's not. Like, obviously, he has a problem with Ben. I wonder if this is a way to start showing that idea that Luke just is not. I mean, let's be honest, he's never been a patient individual. He's always been a patient. Maybe he's not a patient enough person to be a teacher. He's just, it's like one of those sayings, you're the best at what we got. You're not very good at what you do, but you're what we got. So he's got to pass along what he's learned.
I mean,
so
we get
much
the
like
line,
your father. So much like your father.
That line broke me. I was like seeing the Luke and Ahsoka together.
Jesus Christ.
And like Ahsoka, even the line she says to Din when she says, "I'm an old friend of the family." I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart.
You're jumping ahead again, guys. We're not even there yet.
Going back.
Damn it.
That's going back. No,
it's not yet. We haven't even shown Ahsoka yet.
We haven't, though. Yeah, we haven't. I know. I'm sorry. I brought it up. I said, but it felt like it fit at the moment.
After the memory thing, he gets her and he gets upset, and we see it. Then he comes back, and then when Luke and Grogu, that's exactly where we were, is where he learns it's a dangerous place, and he promises to defend himself. That's what it was. They reflect in the hills. Then we go back to Din on the bench. Then we go back to Din on the bench, and that's when he wakes up, and then we see Ahsoka. And that right there was like, holy shit! We got Luke, we got R2, and we got Ahsoka Tano. What the hell is going on?
And none of it felt forced or bloated. No. It was the perfect tempo, the perfect pace. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only negative thing about it, and just slightly, and again, in Dave Filoni I trust, and just like I said about Dave Filoni as far as the Jedi Purge goes, obviously at this point, Tana, Ahsoka, and Luke have had discussions. They've met. They've talked. So Ahsoka knows who he is. So I want to see that scene. I can't believe we won't get that scene at some point where Ahsoka learns about Luke and has that first meeting with Luke and have that first discussion about who she is and who he is.
Now,
unfortunately, we don't get that now.
Let me propose something to you, and shout out to our friend Alison Salomon, because I had this conversation with her as well. I would like to see that scene with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it more between Ahsoka and Leia. Because Leia only ever knew Vader. She never got that final moment on the Death Star when Vader takes the helmet off and it's Anakin and he's like, "You were right." So I feel like, yeah, I do want to see it, but this is just an idea that I just wanted to pitch to you guys, see what you thought of it. That's how do you think that would come across?
Well, first of all, my first thing I have to say is why not both? We can
Yeah,
split it
sit them both down.
See it both. I want
Even
both.
better.
I do.
Even
I love
better.
that. I mean, I never thought about that idea, but that's a phenomenal way to go about it. I think that's great. I think that'd be really, really cool. Best way that you could get Leia a little bit in on that side, because you're right. She has done none of the good side of it. And again, not that Luke has a lot, but he has enough of the insight from Obi-Wan and from his moments at the end where he obviously had the connection with him. So seeing Ahsoka tell him that would be great. So I say have Ahsoka meet Luke first. Luke can introduce her to Leia and go from there.
Because they are training together. Luke and
Yeah.
Leia, we saw in The Rise of Skywalker, they're training together.
Correct.
At that time.
So it would make a lot of sense. That'd be great. Maybe all three of them at once even. It'd be cool. I don't know where that'd be, but that'd be an awesome new thing. I'm kind of hoping, my hope at this point, and this, again, I hate to say hope, because if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be disappointed. But my idea about it would be that we get this in the Ahsoka series. Like, Ahsoka starts off back a little bit, kind of like how Boba Fett started off back a little bit, and we got up to Mandalorian. Ahsoka would start off back and catch up to her appearance in the Mandalorian as well, or maybe to Boba Fett, because I don't know where necessarily Ahsoka and Luke got together. Who knows? Would it happen after the Mandalorian? Probably not. Probably happened before Mandalorian at that point, probably, but we'll have to see. Either way, we get Ahsoka. We get that line that broke me. The friend of the family just made me smile. And we get the scene where Ahsoka brings Din to see him,
Oh
to
my
see
God.
Dave, but kind of doesn't let him go meet him. But doesn't like do it in a forceful, no, you can't do it. Just has a conversation and makes a lot of sense. That's going
Are
to be
you
harder
doing this
on
for
Dave.
him, or are you doing this for you?
Right.
And
It's
the
gonna make
moment
it harder on Dave.
the moment that he's having, it's like, I'm not a parent, but I can like tell this is like the ultimate sacrifice a parent has to make for the child. Like, you got to do what's right, not what's right by you.
Right.
Just if letting go is best for your kid,
Then you got to do it.
you got to let go. He might not be letting go. He's not like, we're not done with the whole choice.
Right.
But he doesn't like, he just trusts Ahsoka at that moment. But you can, it's a dude in a freaking helmet watching a puppet on a hill, and I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, this is the level of like emotionality that that moment has.
Yeah, I agree. And even it's actually coupled up with the next thing, because all of a sudden he does give the gift to Ahsoka to give to Dave, and then he goes to the ship and flies away, and you see Ahsoka, or you see Dave see the
this.
ship and feels it, and he kind of does a little bit of like
Oh my God, the hand.
So obviously he felt it. He felt that Din was near. So it's a powerful moment, very powerful. Then of course we move on to this more Jedi training, and this is a little bit of fan service in a good way. We get to see the replaying of The Empire Strikes Back with the running, the flipping in the backpack. He actually does the flip. You're like, yeah, that's awesome. Stepping on a creature. That's pretty fun too. Get to see the training remote, which is
that's like, that was like the hard, like tough love that Luke's showing. Like, I was like, oh no, is that thing gonna
shoot him right away
now?
Shoot Dave right away? Yeah, okay, that's what we're doing, huh? It's a lot of fun. You can see lightsaber training, you can see Luke doing stuff. It's all kind of cool. It's fun.
Jump.
It's powerful. The jump. That's all you got.
That's all you got.
But the best part, of course, happens where Gertrude is like she's training with the remote. He's gotten better at it, and Ahsoka gets to come out. We get to see Ahsoka and Luke together, which is something that I always hoped would happen, and I never thought would actually. I didn't actually think it might ever happen. We get it, and it's just soft, it's quiet, but it is exactly the same way. She's trying to teach him how to teach in a way. I think she's trying to get him to learn his own way. We can't really tell him what to do, but she's there to like talk to, at least have him talk it out, to be a sounding board, and that's the best plan. Like I said, just like his father, just like your father, and like Luke looked back at her, and like I was like,
I was watching this episode with my childhood best friend, who we both grown up loving Star Wars. Me and him are very like, I ain't gonna cry at this. No way. it got to that. You have never seen two grown-ass men bawling like the two of us were when she said that line. We were just like, that moment was so damn powerful. And it's the fact that she said it and she smiled. Like that's a good thing that you're like it. Like even after everything that Anakin did everything Vader did, she still remembers him as her master.
Yep.
As her, like, the older brother that she never had.
She remembers the Jedi. She remembers the Jedi side of Anakin. And it's powerful. It's very powerful. It's very powerful. Wow. So Ahsoka leaves at that point. So it's kind of weird. And she's like, "Will he ask Luke has to see her again?" That's an interesting way to insight to their relationship. Obviously, it's not like they must not hang out very often. Obviously, like
I figured she was there with him, like just like helping him, but it just felt like she just popped up as Mandalorian, just did their thing, and then took off again.
Yeah, will I see you again? Like that's like very close ended in a way. So who knows? That again makes me more interested in seeing how did we get there? How did we get here? But we'll get. I'm sure we will get there. Probably again in the Ahsoka series. But
is this going to be the role of a lifetime for Rosario Dawson? Like her, like
I think
the
so.
way, like she's like, and it's such an early stage, but I feel like she's nailing everything about how poised and balanced and how in control a Jedi should be. And she's not in the like Jedi Order, right? Because she's not a Jedi. She's not a Jedi, but she's
not a Jedi.
Yeah, right. But still, her, like the fact that we see the Jedi I'll call her a Jedi at this point. We see the Jedi side by side with the bounty hunters and with the other characters. The contrast shows us way more how balanced and how in control, how calm, and how powerful the Jedi are. If that makes sense.
It does.
When it's episodic movies, they're always there. They're always doing their thing. They're always the best. But right now we're seeing like they're the best of the best with the other sort of lesser powerful creatures.
I mean, they're also standing next to a Mandalorian. And I'm sure Ahsoka is aware of the history between the Jedi and the Mandalorians. Like
100%.
She probably has a deep level of respect for Din.
Of course she does. I mean, the siege. She was all about the siege and everything else. She knows all about it. I mean, she's friends with Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan led Din to her in the first place.
Then we cut back to
Tatooine. We haven't seen anybody for a while. But it's really nice that Boba Fett gets a cameo in his own show.
Did you see Dan Merle's tweet? It's possibly the best tweet I've ever seen about this episode. He said, it was something like, I love that they went back to the core of the character and that he's in it for 10% of the time, but silent for 90% of it. It's just like, that's brilliant.
That is pretty funny.
They really went back to the core of Boba Fett for that.
It's true. I mean, don't get a lot of it. Obviously, this is where it needed to come for the final episode. We don't get a whole lot. We get to see the crew together with Shan, with Boba Fett, with Chrysanthemum, with the colorful mods. And
no. Before that, I'm talking what happened before that.
That doesn't happen before that, Jarvi.
No.
Nope.
Oh, that's at the very end.
Because afterwards he goes to get Cobb Vanth because he have this scene with Boba Fett where they say we need more muscle. We need ground troops or whatever.
A lot is happening, and I watched the episode twice, and I'm still messing it up. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
You're excited. I know what point
you're excited. I know you're excited. We're all excited. We definitely are all excited. But you get this first. And that's where we get the idea where they say we need ground troops because we can't do it all just the muscle we have. So Din has a great idea of going to get Cobb Vanth, obviously, and that's a great moment. We get to go with Cobb Vanth. I love seeing Din and Cobb Vanth reunite. It just shows how cool they are, how badass they are. We get a quick introduction to this deputy character. And I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I saw deputy character, I'm like, yeah, this guy's dead. This
James
Deputy
Marsden,
dickhead.
like lookalike or something.
James Marsden, that's true. That's a good call. He just basically threw out there as like this guy's gonna die, no doubt. But I did like
Deputy Dickhead.
Deputy Dickhead.
Deputy fuckboy.
He's not even that bad a guy. He means well. Well.
Yeah.
But he's yeah. So it's a quick scene. It's pretty much a quick scene though between Din and Cobb, and its idea is that Cobb's going to definitely he's going to help Boba Fett out. It seems like he's giving him a little bit of a hard time because he's going to have a hard time maybe convincing the townspeople to help him out. But he knows he'll get it done.
Folk fight.
Exactly. The free folk. And then Din leaves right away, and all of a sudden that's when we get the Jarvi moment I was talking about. He just turns And you seen like it. This is
I didn't think we
most
would be getting this.
Western.
Yeah.
Star
The
Wars
wind
ever.
changes.
Yeah.
You see the wind change, the chimes.
Almost
And-
like rattlesnake sound.
And right from the beginning, you're just like, "That's fucking Cad Bane."
We're
I
seeing
noticed that.
live
I
action
didn't.
Cad Bane.
Really?
I didn't think it was him because I missed the silhouette.
Oh.
Because I was like, who is that? I didn't see the hat the first time.
See,
yeah.
I gotta tell you, even without the silhouette, just seeing his shape, I was like,
He was so
"This is what makes
slender.
sense." This is what makes sense because who's a
Mm.
gunslinger that we know who's going to be sent in to the town?
I thought it was going to be the Tuscan warrior at first. For like
Mm.
5 to 10 seconds before we see the silhouette and the hat and everything, I thought, is that the warrior? Is she coming
Mm.
back?
Right.
And then I saw the hat and I was like, oh.
It's
And then I saw him get closer to the town and I was like, oh no, no, you are, because then I started doing the math in my head. I was like, he hasn't got the armor.
Mhm.
right.
That's Cad Bane.
Yep.
You see the fuckboy
Oh,
coming on the side. You know he's gonna fuck shit up
You
somehow.
know he's done. You know he's dead. That's
Yeah.
if you didn't think of it before. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fuckboy. Actually, the funny thing is, I was like, okay, Cad Bane might survive this now because we have fuckboy to be the
Human shield.
sacrificial limb. We have the sacrificial limb basically. And yeah, we get closer and closer, and let's be honest, we get there. Holy shit! He looks fucking good. He looks
It's
fucking good.
incredible.
He's not perfectly done like the people. Like some people said, oh, it doesn't look like the Clone Wars version. Doesn't matter. It's live action
Yes.
version, and he's older. It makes sense to me. He's a little bit different, but it still is exactly the character I want him to be. On all you need to hear that voice. You hear that voice, right?
And it was all prosthetics. There was no, I think maybe some CGI on the eyes, but I'm so
Right.
glad that they went all prosthetics on
Put
it.
it this way: imagine someone who's never watched Rebels or Clone Wars, who's never seen Cad Bane before. This is their first time seeing Cad Bane.
Pretty much me.
Like,
Pretty much me.
how fucking terrifying is this guy?
Yeah. You liked him, Jeremy, didn't you?
I saw him in the Bad Batch, so I
Right,
knew him
that's
from
all you
there,
did,
and
yeah.
I've seen a few. But overall, all I've heard about him and know about him is from you guys.
Right. And he's
But I
fucking
was
good.
still so freaking excited because I had no idea what they were like. I was afraid of what Cad Bane might look like in live action. Like I was like, how are they gonna do this?
And it worked out perfectly. The menace there, he's a menacing character in live action.
That moment
He's
was so
evil.
tense.
He's probably, honestly speaking, like outside of like Vader, Palpatine, and Maul, maybe.
Yeah.
Nobody else like has ever come close. Like it isn't close to like how like menacing this guy came.
Boba Fett was a cold-blooded killer who worked for the Empire. I was like, oh.
And but I love best. My favorite part about this whole sequence was Timothy Olyphant. Timothy Olyphant's acting in this was brilliant.
Like
it was very
when he
subtle.
brings the eyes up.
Brings the eyes up. Timothy Olyphant has the eyes. He's looking back and forth. The deputy dickhead comes out, and he's like,
Really fuckboy.
you see, he's getting distracted. I was like, oh god, he's getting distracted. He's getting distracted. He's like trying to. He's like, and I love the line because when the deputy comes out, he's like, "Mars was not for sale." And you see Timothy Olyphant go,
It's like,
He's just like,
Fucking
this
idiots.
motherfucker.
yeah.
"You fucking idiot!" Just
And there was
get back in.
there was also another moment that it really sold Cad Bane was when when Cobb Vanth goes, "I didn't catch your name."
Right.
Mhm.
It's like you don't need to know his name.
Yeah,
Like,
and they don't say it. I'm so glad they don't say it.
Yeah, I was
Because-
glad you did too in here. Could have
because
been
it's
too
like,
cheesy, I think.
we know who he is.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure everyone else knows who he is.
Right.
And then, dude, the quick cuts. Oh my god, it was so
So well
tense.
shot.
And then you see him like looking at Deputy
The
Dickhead.
good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the deputy dickhead goes for it, and you can tell he's like, "Don't do it, you fucking you idiot!" And he does. He realizes, "I got to go now," and he goes for it. Boom! Shot in the shoulder. He lives. Definitively, he lives. That's why. That's my fault.
kills, wrecks
And-
the deputy.
Oh,
Other
wasted
guy- oh,
It's like
wasted.
throws him
Like-
in the wall.
it is. Oh, the best part about it is like he gets shot, and he just got a shoulder, and you're thinking in your head like kind of like, well, maybe he could have lived.
Choo,
through
choo,
that.
choo.
And now we're gonna make sure you know this guy's dead.
Literally 4 shots right to the gut, just like,
Right.
Yeah.
all right, sit down.
Although it was funny that Timothy Olyphant does not move after they try, so he tries to sell it that he's not, that he might be
Mhm.
dead. But it's good. It's a good quote by Will. Actually says it's interesting. Cad Bane does say the Syndicate, not the Pikes. So
Tatooine
it looks like
belongs to
that
the
the
Syndicate.
Syndicate is over the Pikes, which is over. So that means that Cad was brought in by the Syndicate to help the Pikes with their problem. Gotta find out more about the Syndicate. I wonder if it's going to find out in this, or is it something that's going to
Crimson
travel over to,
Dawn.
or is that going to be traveled over into Mandalorian season 3 or Bo-Katan series or whatever else we're going to get? Interesting way. But man, that's a great moment with Cad Bane. And he walks away, and we're all, whew.
You guys know he's gonna die next episode, right?
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane's gonna die next episode.
He might.
I
It's
don't
a
know his lore.
possibility.
I don't know how he dies. So
I will say no, he hasn't died. There was an unproduced Star
Clone
Wars,
Wars
the
video.
Clone Wars episode arc that was not produced. And because you know how season 7 was made out of some unproduced arcs. This was one that was not produced at all. They never finished it. They shot some of it, and they did some of it. They showed it at Celebration, and it was an arc between Boba Fett worked with Cad Bane on this thing, and they end up having a outlaw style duel where they did exactly the same thing. And Cad Bane shoots Boba Fett. That's how Boba Fett gets that dent in his helmet. It's actually gets that. Boba Fett takes out Cad Bane at the same time.
right.
And that's how it ended. That's kind of how it ended. But they never. But they kind of left it there. They didn't actually see that Cad Bane died necessarily, although it would have been hard to see how
You see him on the ground.
survived. You do see him on the ground. But I mean, again, it's all unproduced. Doesn't really count. But people have thought, and understandably so, that David loves finishing the stories that he wrote.
Yeah.
So maybe this will lead to a Bobo versus Cad Bane duel. At the
It'd be
end of that episode.
You know, the final nail in the coffin is if Boba's about to turn and shoot Cad Bane, and Din beats him to it. Kills his arch enemy in his show.
That would be the second time Din killed someone for someone else.
Yeah.
Like first off, Bo-Katan was supposed to get the Darksaber. Nope,
Yep.
Din killed.
Didn't get him first.
Giancarlo.
Kill him, but gets him. Yeah. Not kills him, but gets him. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it doesn't kill him, of course.
Okay. But interestingly enough, okay, so we get through there. I want to grab a certain amount of time now, real quick. I just want to throw out there. Okay, so the sequence where we get the cantina getting bombed.
Oh yeah,
Is Max okay? Max wasn't
Rebo
there.
looks like he's okay. We don't see Max Rebo there, so he's okay, I think.
that was a gnarly scene.
He
though.
was out.
Like,
He wasn't
actual-
working that night.
Like bombing people inside a cafe. I was like, whoa, this is dark for even
it's
this
pretty
type
dark.
of show.
Yeah. But then we go back to the Jedi Temple. We get the moment where we get to see the little Frodo mithril.
Yeah, the mithril happened.
mithril.
That happened.
The Sith Lord.
Exactly the same as
Yeah,
a
you
little
forget. Exactly the same as a little mithril. Oh, they could have little mithril.
mithril.
And then we get Luke showing Yoda's lightsaber. And he has to make a choice, and that's where we end. And
I have two
there it
problems
is.
with this scene.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shoot it
I
out.
have two problems with this scene. One, did Ahsoka never tell Luke that only the Sith deal in absolutes?
Oh, snap.
And I feel like, and my second complaint is, and it's not even a complaint. Like I'd say in a complaint, I know they're throwing us off the trail. Luke's gonna let him pick both.
That's why I think okay, sorry, you go.
I feel this is a test of Luke saying, "Okay, you can choose. I just want to see where your heart's at. I want to see if you are in the right place to take this." And he talks about attachment. Why do you still have your old master's lightsaber? You talk about attachment. Why have you still got it?
It's attacking to people, not attacking to the items.
That's true, because usually Jedi, part of becoming a Jedi is crafting your own lightsaber. So why wouldn't he have Dave?
Well, your
construct
first
his own?
lightsaber is not usually your practice lightsabers and stuff. They train with the lightsabers first. Becoming a Jedi Knight.
But that's not a training lightsaber. That's Yoda's lightsaber.
Well, yeah, but again, we're not in a place where they're making thousands of lightsabers at any time.
Oh
It's not a kyber crystal in this. We don't have a lab where the kyber crystals are. Luke's got to make do. He's got to give somebody a lightsaber to practically use. I think at this point, that's my thought process on it. I do think that you're wrong, Matty.
Okay.
I think he's going to make him choose. I think he's going to choose to be with the Mandalorian because he's not the first student. Ben's the first student. So Grogu's never going to become. He's never going to be the first student of the other thing. He's going to go with Mandalorian. I think, and it's also going to stay. It's also going to be. He might still get the lightsaber. I could see him still getting the lightsaber. I could see Grogu stealing the lightsaber, and again, Luke showing that he's not attached. We kind of well, all right. He might not like it, but he kind of but he'll get convinced into it somehow to keep the lightsaber or something. Maybe that's how we see Luke again. Luke come down I have to take the lightsaber back, and then they'll have to have some conversation where at the end he lets him keep the lightsaber.
Dave just steals it, and Din comes back, and we just hear him go, "Dad, go, 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 go!"
You see, no, I think what happens is they leave the planet, and then Luke grabs the box and like lifts it up, and all of a sudden he opens the box and like rocks it or something.
What's in the box?
God damn it! So bitch, Grogu, something like that.
He does look at the vest, the mithril, whatever we're calling it now, the armor. He looks at he looks at the armor. He looks at the lightsaber, and he looks back at the armor. So looks twice at the armor, once at the lightsaber, then looks up.
I mean, we're gonna find out soon enough. That's for sure.
If he doesn't pick the armor, I'm done. I need therapy after if he doesn't pick it.
Predictions on the season finale, boys.
I mean,
series finale.
You and me have talked about this, and I'm actually now more inclined to agree with you.
Yeah,
I think we're getting Han.
I think we're getting Han also.
I
think so.
So
I think we're getting Bosk because of the relation between Chrysanthemum and the Trandoshans, and Bosk is Chrysanthemum. Santi is going to need someone to fight. Who better than the best Trandoshan bounty hunter out there? So you bring in Bosk for him. And then Han is going to be the one to bring Grogu to Tatooine because Luke doesn't want to go back to Tatooine. So who does he send? He sends Han.
I would be surprised if Luke does come back. Hanno buddy. I would be surprised if you see Han, Luke together again. I think, honestly, one thing I think you're going to see in the near future at some point, I don't know where, one of the biggest complaints about the sequel trilogy was we never got Han, Luke, and Leia together again.
Is this going to be the end game? Like, is this the end game moment is actually happening now?
I think it's all the same, but
like Bobo's going to be like on the comms and on your left.
On your left. No, it's
and they're
Han.
all coming through.
No, because Han's going to be, Boba Fett's going to be losing. Boba Fett's going to be getting his ass kicked, and they're all going to be down and everything else. Also, you're hearing the kids, Yahoo, kid, on your left. And the Falcon flies in.
Bro, if we get that, holy shit, I will lose my mind. If we get the Yahoo.
I won't get the Yahoo because it would make that'd be kind of cool. I do think that Han brings Grogu back potentially, and that's where Han and Boba Fett meeting at that point. So it could be cool. I do think that's going to happen.
Oh, the Jedi! We get Qui-Gon Jinn coming through. We get everyone.
I mean, that kind of happened. It's called the end of Rise of Skywalker. They just did it in a terrible way.
They did it. One of the biggest things that grinds my gears is the way Lando says Han in that. He's supposed to say Han, and he says Han again now.
He does.
That's for another time.
So I do think that we get Han bringing him back. I do think everybody thinks it'll be a big battle at the end, and we're gonna get the reveal at the end that it's Kira that's in charge of the Syndicate, Crimson Dawn.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
like so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It'd be interesting to see Han and Kira meet up again.
Kira holding Maul's lightsaber.
Stop it! Stop it!
That could work. All right.
I'd be like, you put that thing down. You're not fucking touch that.
But this is not the Book of Boba Fett anymore, though. We had 4 episodes of Boba Fett, and now it's just full on Star Wars.
That's okay.
I love it. I love it, and it even works because people like the first 4 episodes. People weren't that high on Boba Fett being a separate character. I think we got enough of him, and now we're just getting everyone together.
And he'll be there at the end. He'll be leading the battle at the end. Him and Din will be leading it together.
Oh, and the Tuskens, of course. Some of the surviving Tuskens are going to come back into play, help them out. We're going to talk about them.
William Shakespeare once said, what's in a name?
It's the Book of Boba Fett. That's all it is. The Book of Boba Fett. It's all counts. It's all part of one book. So it's all part of the same overall arc. And this is all actually what I say, and this is to PJ's point, and I actually agree. Is that all this that's happening right now? It might not involve Boba Fett, but it's all servicing to this final battle, which is all about Boba Fett. So it's all a part of the same storyline. So it's all part of the Book of Boba Fett. I think people wouldn't have had any issue with this at all if they'd spread out this arc throughout. So he'll spread out this arc throughout the episode. So if we had like Din coming in like the first episode and Luke in the second episode kind of thing, and then they came all together, that's what it'd be. It's all servicing the same storyline. It's all one big storyline. Whether or not Bobo's in this episode or not, it's not really that important. We have side episodes. I think it's more noticeable because it's only 7 episodes. That's part of the problem. If there was like 24 episodes or 20 episodes or something like that, and you had like a 2-part arc or whereas Luke and Din, people would notice it overall in the season. They'd be like, oh, it's a cool arc in the season. But it's still servicing that Boba Fett story. So, yeah, same. Cool. Exactly. This is why PJ and I work together. But anyway, I do think that's cool. I can't wait. We're going to shoot it tomorrow night at 3 a.m. Eastern. Good to see it.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it, my friend. So let's end this out. Now we're a little bit gone on time as I thought we might be with this talk.
Even when I put like small, minor, like news stories in, and like we hurry through the main topic.
Well, this specifically was going to be one that's going to go long because of that.
This was too big of an episode, and I feel like this is going to happen next week as well.
All right, guys, no news next week.
Top 3 moments of the final episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
That's what it is.
That's the main topic for next week.
We'll confirm that off air. We'll go there. But all right, Matty, where can the folks find you?
You can find me at all the socials below. You can find me Thursdays and Sunday nights on the Wild Jones Podcast Network for the ONU MMA show. Big pay-per-view coming up this weekend, so we're going to be breaking that down. You guys can also find me over on my Twitch and YouTube channel this Friday evening, 8 p.m. my time. Use your Googles, whatever. My old band, Aftermath of an Empire, playing a reunion show. It's going to be streamed live, so make sure to check that out. Even if you don't like the music, just come and watch me yell into a microphone and run around the stage like a headless chicken.
And your social is on what social media platform?
On Twitter.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. And Bitch Jarvi, where can they find you?
You can find me at Richard-Erik Bitch of a Jarvi on Facebook and Instagram. And you can find me here weekly with these lovely gentlemen who I respect dearly and will never call them names. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me on your show.
Anytime, Jarvi, anytime. You can find me every week here on PLD Products on Scoundrels. You can also find me on Spotify and all your other podcast platforms, as well as eventually coming back to here. I'm putting my other audio podcasts on this channel as well. You can see, probably have seen that if you've noticed. PJ and I do 2 mediocre white dudes on filming work through the Scream franchise first. We started the Conjuring universe. Next, we got other things coming up. And if you join the patreon.com/PLD projects, you can actually influence what franchises we get to go through. So let me know what you want from there. Also, I do Crown Jewels, which is the journey through Queen, the catalog of Queen from the first single to the last track and all the solo projects and stuff in between. That's actually been a lot of fun as well. And we're also, you can find me in Action Industries, the weekly project, I was just on the show yesterday. Because Andrew Guy was off finishing up filming, so it was.
Damn it! I didn't pull. And
you didn't pull that thumbnail, that wonderful thumbnail. That PJ Campbell has thrown all over the internet and thrown all over every social chat, and actually has put that in his phone as my contact picture now. It's not in there, buddy. It's not in there. We don't use.
He's trying.
So.
It's not.
It's not. That's an old. We don't use StreamYard anymore. So that's an old. That's very old stuff in there. But on Action Industries channel, I do go there, and of course, Movie Trivia Showdown is coming back soon. Me and PJ, the head writer and senior writer, and we're going to be doing a lot with that. That's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of things coming out. I wish I could say, but I can't yet. But yeah, so that's coming soon. So yeah. Thanks, guys, for showing up. I appreciate this. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, same everything. And we'll be discussing the finale of Boba Fett and some unfortunate topic we haven't really officially decided on. I heard Sir Jarvi's pitch. That might be the way we go. And but otherwise, take care, guys. May the force be with you. Always.
PLD, Matty Gunner, Richard-Erik Jarvi, Bidoor. Welcome to Scoundrels. News, and